My greed was slowly evolving into desperation. The longer I thought about it, the more the treasure became the answer to every single problem that I could possibly think of. The treasure had become my salvation. My encounter with Will the Wendigo, in which he had divulged that the treasure was still there, and more importantly, the spiders guarding it were now turned to ash, had fused my greed with hope. I could think of nothing else. I decided to take a hike out through the hills that overlooked the valley where the treasure was hidden away. The wildfires had changed the landscape. I had a rough idea of where it probably was, but I couldn't be certain. As I was hiking out, I knew deep down that I was venturing down a slippery slope. It was only a matter of time before I walked down out of the hills and started searching for the silver. I spent almost 3 days and 2 nights just staring out into the burnout valley. Just watching. For what? I wasn't sure. Maybe some sort of sign, some kind of hint that the treasure was mine for the taking, a hint of victory from the universe. Like most signs from the universe, it came in a form I could have never expected. On my 3rd night camping out in the hills, I was looking out into the valley below, when what do I see but a Goatman. Under the light of the full moon, he was fairly well visible. I could recognize the lanky frame and horned shadow from where I was sitting. He didn't seem to know I was there. I hadn't started a fire, and the nights were warm at the time. I watched him mill about, wandering through the burned-out landscape, stopping occasionally to sniff the air or dig at the ground before getting back up to continue his meandering. After checking the direction of the wind, I decided to go down and grab him. I wasn't sure why, but I was bored, and goatmen, although fairly scary and dangerous for the normal person, are not actually much of a danger. In my experience, they were more like children. They weren't overly powerful like their monster cousins and can usually be reasoned with. Essentially, they are more bark than bite. It took me a couple hours to get close enough to him that I could make a move. I had seen him sniffing at the air and wanted to make sure not to spook him. Stalking a target still gets my heart racing to this day. It took me a long time to learn how to control the energy inside that boils up, so much time to develop my patience in a hunt. In a way, I really needed patience to learn to be patient. I snuck up right behind him, waiting till he started digging and searching. I tackled him and quickly forced him to the ground and put his arms behind his back. I managed to zip-tie his wrists as he cried out in anger. After he was subdued, I had a moment of recognition. This wasn't just any Goatman. I knew this Goatman. Well, if it isn't my old friend, Mr. Fuzzy Nuts. Last time I saw you was in Philadelphia. What are you doing all the way out here? You foraging? Fallen on hard times, have we? Mr. Nuts didn't respond. He huffed, blowing out from his nose, causing the dirt to spit up into the air, accentuating his anger. Don't be a grump. I could have killed you 3 times by now. And I haven't, have I? There was still no answer, but the angry breathing had stopped. Come on, I know you can talk, and I know you understand me. But Mr. Nuts refused to look at me. Fine, I said, and grabbed him, hoisting him up to his feet and forcing him over to a burnt husk of a tree a handful of feet away. I plopped him down and took a knee facing him. I don't want to ruin this fun little dynamic we have, but if you don't start working with me, I can't promise things are going to stay fun. It's only fun for you, he said. I'm not going to lie. That hurts to hear, I told him. You hunters, you're all insane. Are you all so demented that you actually think we could be friends? Oh, lectures on social skills from a creature whose only interactions with humans involve drinking their blood. You must be an expert at maintaining relationships, huh? I said to him. If you're going to kill me, then get it over with. This cat and mouse game, toying with me, is just tiring. I was going to ask you for a favor, I said. A favor between friends, but seeing as you don't think we're friends, I suppose killing you is the only thing I have left to do. I stood up and reached for my sidearm. Whoa, wait! I think we're friends. Who said I didn't think we were friends? Well, you did, I'm pretty sure. That was angry me, he started to explain. I didn't mean that. Look, I'm embarrassed. I've just never had any friends before. This is all new territory for me. I knelt back down, still holding on to my sidearm casually. Do you really mean that? I asked him, looking into his red, blood-filled eyes. Totally, BFF forever and all that, he said. The second F already stands for forever. Yeah, but we're best friends forever. That's twice as much best friendingship. Can you do me a favor then? I asked. Of course, anything, buddy. Have you been down into the lava tubes under this valley yet? Oh yeah, all the time. They're like a subway around here, he said. Is that true? That's actually really interesting. I'm going to want to circle back to that later, but anyway, you wouldn't have happened upon any silver while you were down there, have you? I should have known. When I first saw that treasure, I knew hunters were going to come looking for it if they hadn't already. Yeah, you're exactly right, I said. But if you tell me where it is, I can get that out of here, and then there will probably never be a hunter through this area for years. That's fine by me, the Goatman said. If I got you a map, could you point where it is? Anything for you, buddy. I produced a map from my vest and got him to tell me where he had spotted the treasure. It was basically in the same area Dean had taken us to for the first time when we tried to find it, which made me trust that he was probably telling the truth. I should warn you, there's another guy down there not nice like you, though, Fuzzy Nuts warned me. I was worried about that. I knew he meant Tom. I had worried that Will had turned him into a Wendigo. Hearing he was still down in the lava tombs confirmed my fears. It was something that I was going to have to deal with if I wanted the treasure. Nothing worth anything is easy. I freed Mr. Fuzzy Nuts and let him run off into the night. Best friends? I asked. No, we're super best friends, he responded. He ran off. He had a strange run even for a Goatman. It made me laugh watching him skip and run away. He was the last thing I had expected to encounter out here, but it was exactly what I needed to push me in the right direction. I took it as confirmation that I was on the right path. The treasure was closer to being mine now more than ever. I could taste the silver in my mouth. It was time to come up with a plan. To be continued.